Hello and welcome to another out of spec video. Channeling my inner Kyle there. But this one is another audio review. And this time we're reviewing the audio from the new Model Y 2025 redesigned. Now, this will probably be not a surprising review. All of Tesla's audio systems are very good, especially for the price. This one specifically though might be the best audio system for the money on the market. So we're diving into which areas it's strong in, which are many areas, some areas it might lack in, as well as some differences I've noticed from the outgoing Model Y to the current one. So let's go and get into it. So the new Model Y has a 15 speaker audio setup. I know where most of them are, but I'm gonna go by their diagram here as well, just for a quick refresher. So the obvious ones are in the door cards. You have one here, here, and here. Same on the passenger front door there. So that equals 6 so far. If you go back here, you've got the speaker here, the door card there, and back there, making 8. Come back here to the trunk. The subwoofer is right here, but that's alone, that's by itself, so it doesn't count as the group. In the trunk, actually, behind the felt, are 2 more drivers here and here. That brings us up to, oh, there's a button. That brings us up to 10. Then you come back to the front and you have the big speaker here, but it's actually a couple small ones together. So it makes 12. And then finally, there are a few other small drivers throughout here as well. So it's a really surrounding setup. Now, one thing that this has an advantage over other ones is it has a lot better acoustics. You have the double paned glass here, which helps a ton, as well as a more just acoustically quiet car. I'm pretty sure they've used, turn the AC down, I'm pretty sure they use a bit more insulation from an audio standpoint, because when you sit inside here, it's really quiet. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of things, if you will. We have, oh, and for a fun reference, really quick, slight tangent, because it's audio related, kinda. Remember, we have what I call toy car horn. Anyway, so for this new Model Y, we went over where the speakers are. Now let's talk about which ones do what. The door speakers on the bottom here do a lot of the low frequency work. Those ones down there, the speakers back here will help a lot with lower frequency as well as the subwoofer back there, obviously. The door card one here, I hear some bass coming out of it. I'm gonna sit back here, do a little longer listen to verify, but I believe that one also helps with lower frequency. And I noticed a more pronounced sound profile from the front speakers in the big driver right there compared to older Teslas. Especially these right here, I hear these a bit more. And it almost does a spatial audio type of separation for vocals. Most of the instruments I'll hear from these 2 drivers here and here. The vocals are basically all this, and it's a bit, I'll be honest, it's slightly disorienting for a second, and then you can adjust really quickly compared to hearing more vocals from these. But it's not bad at all. I think it's a pretty good setup. It almost lets you hear more of a defined separation between vocals and instruments, as well as the doors doing a really good job at separating lower frequency sounds and the mids and highs. Now, these both focus on mids from what I can hear. This will do highs and mids. This will do some highs, but the mids are very clear. Now, compared to my last audio review, the Rivian, which basically was all mids and no highs or lows, as with most Teslas, you can hear a lot. So, time to do my favorite part of this and go listen to every part of the car and see how it sounds for each seat. Now, there's no third row, so maybe I'll sit in the trunk. I don't know, but we'll just focus on the seats for now.
Make it timeless, never let it fade. Fade. Make it timeless, never let it fade. Timeless. Make it timeless. Timeless. Make it timeless. Timeless.
So interestingly, after the test, I discovered that a lot of the bass actually does also come from the speaker up front. That actually is normal to happen. It's like that in my old Model 3 as well, but it's a lot more pronounced. It's more clear. One thing I also noticed is the lack of drivers up here. My old Model 3 has a speaker right here, and if I look at the diagram again, so according to the diagram, see if I can show it to you guys here. You see there are two right here and right here that are in the A pillar. Interestingly, they must be concealed by the felt here. But regardless, I noticed not hearing much from up here, even with these speakers, with these drivers here. So it's very pronounced from about this level down is where most of the sound you're hearing is coming from. It's very clear because, you know, Rivian had the same issue with their Gen 2 premium audio. They had drivers up here, like big ones, and they just didn't use them. So all the audio was also coming from like this level and then below. But theirs was very muddy. This is still very clear while still sounding kind of at this level down. I'd like to hear more of a pronounced audio profile up here, similar to my older 3. It sounds more surrounding or ambient, if you will. Apart from that, all the other drivers seem to do their job very well. A lot of them have multiple jobs. So I've heard lows, mids, and highs from the dashboard speaker, for example. I hear mainly lows in the door card speakers. That's normal, the bottom door speakers. And I'll hear a little bit of bass from the middle door card for the front, and then, you know, mids and highs for the one up here in the corner. As far as the back almost, most of the sound you're getting from the back, apart from the two speakers in the doors, well, one speaker per door. Apart from that, mainly your sound for the back seat is coming from up here. You get more bass response because you're sitting next to the subwoofer pretty much, so you hear more bass. However, most of what you're hearing besides that is coming from up here. Even the two speakers, the one in each door, even those aren't that pronounced. So you know, you're not getting the best experience in the back seat for sure. In the front seat, the front two seats have a perfect kind of balance, 50-50 balance. So like in the R1S, for example, sitting here, it sounded centered. And then sitting in the passenger seat, the front passenger seat, it was very, very overpowering on the right side because they were probably trying to make the driver hear the best sound system. In this vehicle, it's 50-50. I hear the same exact balance of volumes from left to right that I do sitting here, that I do sitting over here, which is how it should be. It shouldn't be favoring one seat. It should be a perfect balance between the two. So, and I think part of that is due to a lot of sound coming from the dashboard driver. Also looking at the diagram for the dashboard driver, and I'll just throw it up on the screen. There are 3 drivers in that, 2 in each corner and 1 in the middle. And all of those from the diagram look the same. So they might be generally 3 multi-purpose drivers doing both low frequency, mid, and high frequencies. So you're hearing bass, you're hearing, you know, the mid, so most of your instruments, and then you're hearing your high frequency instruments like hi-hats and stuff, or drums, and then you're hearing the vocals, all in that one section there. And it sounds pretty darn good. So apart from missing some audio up here, like I'd still like to hear more from the top, similar critique to the Rivian. The difference from that one is the Rivian needed these upper drivers to gain high frequency sound because it didn't have any. This has it, but all the highs are coming from about this level, which is right at ear level, but I'd like to hear more coming down toward me. Besides that, it's a really, really good experience. And for the cost, I think it's one of the best audio experiences you can get for the money. I hope to do a Model 3 next, the Highland Model 3. But yeah, honestly, it's like, this is one of the best sound systems you can get for this cost. Obviously, there are still areas it can improve. I do hear a tad bit of rattling from the bass, mainly in the back. That could be the license plate. That could be a huge factor of things, who knows. Up here, I don't hear any vibration. And the acoustics of the actual cabin are really good too. So they almost help the sound system. Sometimes you have good sound system but really bad windows or frames or something like that. But the double pane glass, the whole acoustic setup of the entire vehicle helps create such a good, almost like, I think they say on their website, they call it a studio, your own personal studio. But yeah, really solid, especially for the money. I wish I could install this on the R1S. That would be great. But yeah, one thing to note, compared to a Model 3, and hopefully I can test one, so I'll mention this in that review as well. But you'll hear more bass in the Model Y than the 3 because there's no trunk. It's a hatch. So you have no blockage apart from these 2 seats to the subwoofer. My Model 3, for example, if I were to put the rear seats down and open access to the trunk, I get like 3 times the bass. So if you're looking for like a really bassy sound system, the actual physical sound system, I believe, is identical, but you'll get a more bassy experience by getting the Y because of the lack of a trunk. So yeah, that's pretty much my review on it. Really good for the money. I really wish I could install this in the R1S. This is probably one of the best scoring cars I've done. It even sounds better than the Model X, at least in my opinion, and I believe that's because the overall cabin is just a bit smaller and the audio is a bit more condensed. The X, I believe, has 2 subwoofers compared to the 1 in the Model Y. So it has a little bit less bass. Actually, you can definitely hear less bass in here than the Model X, but it's more balanced than the Model Y here. Also, the acoustics might also be better than the Model X from the window and outer noise. I'm in a busy Walmart parking lot and it's super loud out here, and you can't hear a thing inside here. Even with the AC on, it's quiet, which is funny. If I turn the AC off completely, it's literally like dead silent. Like, what are we even doing? So, yeah. Great job, Tesla, on the audio system. They've always led it, so I'm not surprised. And when I say that, I mean for the price point, of course. There are probably better audio systems, but those are like, crazy expensive cars. This is in a regular commuter car that you can get in like the 40s and 30s or something. So, yeah, great work. I love this audio system. One of the best ones I think I've heard in a car so far. Compared to the old Model Y, the Model Y was very... The old Model Y sounded good. However, the bass was almost too overpowering, and I favor a high bass audio experience, but it was almost too much, and less so of like, oh, you turn the bass down. No, the rest of the speakers weren't really helping out. So even if I were to turn the bass down, I just hear less bass and still okay mid and high experience. Whereas here, even with the bass turned up really high, the other parts of the sound system still tie in perfectly. It's not being drowned out. It's almost complementing it. So I think they took the Y's design and refined it. Of course, they had to for refresh, but really good. So you'll definitely hear a difference between the previous Gen Y and the new 2025 Y if you're shopping around or upgrading. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. One of my favorite audio systems. Yeah, thanks for watching. Big thanks to Tesla John Young for letting me test drive their Model Y. There's my old 3 right there.